We have a new team at the bottom of the power rankings. Hey, what's up, guys? It's a Sports Blitz here, and we're back with our NFL Week 10 power rankings. Wow, it feels weird to say that already. It's Week 10 already. There was a lot that happened this week. A lot of crazy stuff that happened. The Carolina Panthers got a freaking win. Not used to that happening. It was enough to get the Saints head coach Dennis Allen fired. The Titans won. The Jets beat the Texans. I mean, it kind of seems like the Chicago Bears are starting to fall apart a little bit. It kind of seems like there's a lot going on with Caleb Williams over there, and I mean, I don't know, it might not be anything big, but I mean, DJ Moore seems kind of pissed. Anyways, I could ramble on and on. Let's go ahead and get to the power rankings. That's what you guys are here for. I'm assuming that's what you're here for. But there is a new team at 32, and it's going to be the New Orleans Saints. I think Saints fans can agree they've been atrocious since the first 2 weeks of the season. They looked amazing those first 2 weeks, and then went on a crazy 7-game losing streak. Have looked absolutely awful, and Dennis Allen was fired for it. So, yeah, Saints not looking good. I think it's pretty deserving that they're here at 32. So, putting them here at 32. At 31, I'm going to go ahead and put the Raiders. They also made some firings. They fired Luke Getsy, the offensive coordinator. They also fired I believe their quarterbacks coach, I think it was. They are non-committal of who their quarterback is going forward. I believe Aiden O'Connell is still injured, if I'm not mistaken. So I would think it's still going to be Gardner Minshew, but I don't know. None of us really know. So, yeah, Raiders not in a good spot right now. Gonna have them at 30. I think, or sorry, at 31. I think at 30, I think I'm gonna have the Patriots. I think I'm gonna have the Patriots here. They put up a solid fight on the Titans. Drake May looked good at times. I thought it was a really smart heads up play by Hunter Henry on that play where he accidentally ran out of bounds. He kind of like signaled to Drake May to be like, no, don't throw it to me. It's a penalty sort of thing. Kind of signaled to him. I think that's a smart veteran play. It was smart of Drake May to, recognize and see that. So, there's some smart things happening. Ramondre Stevenson had a good game, but, I mean, overall, they ended up losing to the Titans. Not a good day. I think 30 is a pretty honest spot for the Patriots right now. So, and then the Jags. Do I want to put the Jags at 29? I don't know. I'm debating on a few teams right here. Do we want the Jags at 29? Hold on. I gotta think about this one for a second. Alright. I'm not gonna put the Jags there at 29. I'm gonna go ahead and put the Carolina Panthers there. Finally out of the 30 range. So good win for them. Bryce Young seems to be settling in a little bit more and looking more comfortable. I think he's looked the best he ever has these last 2 weeks. It does sound like Dave Canales is non-committal on him as the starting quarterback. I think they'd be dumb to go back to Andy Dalton. I think they're going to stay with Bryce Young, but even hearing him be non-committal there is kind of worrisome, if you ask me. Um, so yeah, there's that. Their defense looked a little bit better. Um, other than trying to defend Alvin Kamara, they did not do very well defending against Alvin Kamara. He had over, I think, I think he had like 200 scrimmage yards. Um, they didn't allow any touchdowns from him though, so that was big. So their defense did step up when they needed to. They made several red zone stops. They also stopped them on that attempted game-winning drive. So that was big by the Panthers there. They're making improvements. So yeah, got them here at 29. I think at 28, I'll go ahead and have the New York Giants here. If this wants to move, there we go. Got the Giants here at 28. I thought they played pretty tough against the Commanders. I feel like every time I kind of looked over and, saw what was going on during that game, it seemed like the Giants were just sticking in it. You know, whether it was a good defensive play, I think I looked over a couple times and I want to say Giants were sacking Jaden Daniels or I know I looked over at one time, saw that 35-yard touchdown from Daniel Jones to the tight end. I don't even remember his name. So they made some good plays. They stayed in the game, and really against a team like the Commanders, that's pretty respectable. That's why they're only going to be down one spot this week, but ultimately, like, I can't really move them up, you know? So, yeah, got them there at 28. At 27, I think at 27, I'm going to keep the Titans here. Move them up a few spots, but they didn't look great. I didn't think it was like a good-looking win against the Patriots. Really, the Patriots aren't a good team. I mean, you've got them ranked at 30. So, only winning by a field goal, like, yeah, the Titans did win, okay? I'm not discrediting that. But I'm not ready to move them up more than what I did, you know? So, here at 26, I've got the Jaguars. I know this is only down one spot. They didn't get absolutely worked by the Eagles. Kind of similar situation to the Titans, is like they're still not a good team, but they didn't get absolutely blown out by playing a good team. That's really all I have to say about that, to be honest. Only down one spot. 25, got the Cleveland Browns. I moved them up quite a bit last week after Jameis Winston had that masterclass game against the Ravens, I believe it was. Yeah, I moved them up quite a bit. Well, they did not keep that going. Jameis Winston did not look good at all against the Chargers. It was pretty ugly, if I'm being honest. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and have them there at 25. At 24, I just heard glass break outside my window. I don't know what that is. Hope it's okay. Anyways, 24. 24, I think I'm going to go ahead and have the Colts. They didn't look great against the Vikings. I thought the defense looked pretty good, to be honest. Like, all things considered, the Colts defense looked solid. But, I mean, Joe Flacco did not look good at all. They couldn't get the run game going with Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, Colts just didn't look good. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't have benched Anthony Richardson, but Richardson could have at least had like I'm not convinced Richardson wouldn't have made a more exciting game. I think he would have at least at least scored and made it a more exciting game in my opinion. That's just me. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Again, I think the benching is warranted. It helped out Bryce Young. It could help out Richardson too, but that's the way I see it. Then here at 23, I think at 23 I'm going to have the Jets. There's already a pretty big jump from last week. They had a good Thursday night win against the Texans. Garrett Wilson went absolutely crazy this game. He had an awesome game. Devontae Adams finally had his breakout game with the Jets. Finally looked like what we expected him and Rodgers to look like. Defense looked good. They slowed down the Texans quite a bit. Made CJ Stroud look not good at all. So yeah, the Jets looked pretty good. So move them up a few spots. 22, I'm actually not touching the Dolphins here. I'm not ready to have them lower than this because of their potential. But I'm also most definitely not ready to move them up at all. Obviously, they didn't beat the Bills, so I wouldn't move them up anyways. But I'm not ready to move them lower than this quite yet. If they keep losing and things keep looking bad, I will. But I'm not out on Tua yet. I think Tua's a good quarterback. I think they just got to figure things out. So, keeping them there at 22. I know that's not a high ranking, but I don't want to have them too low either. So, at 21, you got the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know what's going on with them this year. They're 3-5. Or is it 3-6 now? Either 3-5 or 3-6. Either way, losing record, not looking good. Now Dak is out for likely multiple weeks. Things are crumbling in Dallas right now. So I don't know what's going on, but they're not looking good. If I could move them lower than 21 right here, I would. There's a few of these teams below them that any given week they've looked better than the Cowboys. Honestly, this week the Dolphins looked better than them. The Jets looked better than them. So I kind of want to move the Cowboys lower, but I don't know what's going on with them. I think 21 is realistic, though. At number 20, we got the Seattle Seahawks. So they started out 3-0 and are since 1-5. Seahawks not looking great. Now, this game against the Rams, it was an overtime game. Jackson Smith and Jigba looked incredible. Had 180 yards, 2 touchdowns. Would have had even more yards if penalties didn't get it called back. I think the Seahawks still have a solid defense, but that offensive line is a problem. I don't know how many of you were watching that game against the Rams, but the Seahawks O-line is not good. They cannot protect Geno. and I think that's leading to a lot of Geno's turnovers that he's having. So, yeah, Seahawks here at 20. Only down 2 spots. And again, they put up a good fight against the Rams. I mean, it was an overtime game. All right. So I'm not going to sit here and completely trash them. But at the end of the day, it is a loss. And like I said, they're 1-5 in their last 6 games. It's kind of hard to defend that. At number 19, I've got the LA Chargers. This is up 2 spots, I believe, from last week. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I've kind of debated having them higher, but the Chargers are also kind of one of those teams that, like, one week they'll look incredible, like one of the best teams in the NFL, and another week they'll look awful, like they don't know how to play football. And it's weird. Like, they're a 5-3 team, but they don't feel like a great team, you know? And for that reason, I'm like, I don't know if I can put them above, like, the Bengals. Bengals are kind of a similar situation. Like, they won, but, I mean, it was the Raiders. They've lost a lot of other really bad games, you know? The Rams won. I don't want to move them over the Rams. Cardinals won. And I really don't want to move the Bucks this low, because I mean they took the Chiefs to overtime. So I think 19 for right now is an okay spot for the Chargers. I could see things changing. I could see them getting better. I could see them moving up. So Chargers fans, I know you've had issues with me in the past, but if they keep it up, they will move up the power rankings. So 18, I think 18, I'm just going to move the Bears down here. That was not good. They did not look good against the Arizona Cardinals at all. Caleb Williams is starting to kind of look lost. DJ Moore seems like he's fed up with him. I heard in an interview or a call or something today. I don't remember who it was with, but the question was, it was, is Eberflus losing the locker room? And DJ Moore's answer was, I wouldn't say no. That's really concerning, especially to be said, on public media. So, I don't know. Maybe it's not a huge deal. Maybe the Bears really aren't in that bad of a spot. But it's not looking great for them, if you ask me. So, got them here at 18. At 17, I've got the Bengals here. Only going up, like, what is that, a spot or two after the Raiders win. Burrow looked good. Burrow was dang near perfect. But it's the Raiders. And really, again, I've said this before. The Bengals are a team that they should be so much better, but their defense is awful. And they can't play complementary football. Like, it's not, they're not winning games that they should. So, again, I know they beat the Raiders. I'm sure Bengals fans would agree with me here. They're too inconsistent. I can't move them more than 1 spot right here. So, at number 16, this is only down 1 spot for the Bucks. They were actually 15 last week, but I'm moving them here. honestly, given that they didn't have Mike Evans or Chris Godwin, they put up a tough fight against Kansas City. Baker Mayfield played his heart out. He played really well, if you ask me. I was watching it, and he made some big throws, especially on that game tying drive. Um, Baker Mayfield played really well, but the defense kind of sold when it mattered. Um, I think they're still a good team. I could see them still getting things figured out, but it's really tough without Mike Evans. It really is. So I've got them here at 16. At 15, I've got the Denver Broncos. Um, yeah, they got absolutely worked by the Ravens. I mean, it was bad. It was bad. Um, yeah, that's really all I have to say. Like, they got absolutely smoked. Um, so yeah, got the Broncos here at 15. I think here at 14 is where I'm going to place the Rams. I'm going to say this just straight out. Rams have looked a lot better with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua being back. This was a massive jump for them this week. And really, like, this game against the Seahawks, Puka got ejected early on for throwing a punch, and their offense still looked really good. So, yeah, Rams, their offense is looking a lot better with them back. I expect them to keep gaining momentum. I mean, they beat the Vikings last week, so that was really impressive. Yeah, that's really all I've got to say. Like, good on the Rams. They're looking good now. 13. 13, I'll have the Cardinals here. Right now, um, they're leading their division, but that entire division is insanely close. They're all within a game of each other. And I know you look at that and you're like, okay, so why aren't the Cardinals ahead of like the Niners sort of thing? The Niners, I think, have up to this point been a little bit more consistent than the or than the Cardinals have. And really, a big part of it for this week in particular is, well, Christian McCaffrey's coming back this week. I think their offense is going to be starting to click a lot more going forward. And if the Cardinals keep playing this well going forward, and say the 49ers lose a game here or there, Cardinals could pass them. They absolutely can. Cardinals been a much, much, much better team this year than I anticipated. And look, any argument you guys have for having them above the Niners right now, it's valid. Completely valid. I mean, they're on top of their division right now. I just think the Niners right now are the better team. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going to leave it at. So, I think at number 12, I'm going to put the Houston Texans. Bad loss to the Jets on Thursday Night Football. CJ Stroud looked awful. Defense didn't look great. Like I said, Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams both had big games. Yeah, I really covered everything I needed to when I talked about the Jets earlier. Just Texans didn't look great. So, number 11, I'm keeping the 49ers right there. It was their bye week. They didn't do anything, so moving on. Number 10, you know what, number 10, I'm actually going to put the Green Bay Packers. Um, yeah, Jordan Love didn't look good at all. I know he was coming off that groin injury, and that's an injury that kind of lingers for a while. So I think it's fair to say he was probably going through some pain during the game. I mean, I think that's very fair to say. I've had groin injuries before too, and it's not easy to do like anything with those. I mean, when I played football in high school, I got a groin injury and it I could barely walk, you know. So I I understand. But still, Jordan Love really did not look good making passes. Um, I thought the Packers defense played all right. Holding the Lions of all teams to only 24, I think that's an impressive feat. Josh Jacobs played pretty well, but at the end of the day, they didn't get it done. It is kind of concerning to see from Jordan Love, but we'll have to see what happens going forward with that. So, number 9, I'm putting the Atlanta Falcons here, up 3 spots. They dominated the Cowboys. I mean, it was enough for them to have Dak on national television tell his own teammate, "We effing suck." And look, I don't like the Falcons. I'm a Panthers fan, obviously, but seeing the Cowboys in shambles like that, it's a little funny, okay? I know Cowboys fans aren't going to like that in the comment section, but it's a little funny. I think all other 31 teams got to agree. I think it's funny to see. So, number 8, I've got the Ravens here. Moving up a spot. I, I I thought after an impressive win like that, I don't think it's not justified to move them up more, but let's look at this though. The Eagles won their game. The Steelers are on a bye, so they didn't play at all. Commanders won their game. Vikings won their game. Bills won their game. Chiefs won their game. And the Lions won their game. So I don't I don't see the justification in moving the Ravens over one of them. I get that not all games are equal, but the Ravens are also kind of one of those teams that have been kind of inconsistent, especially defensively. So I think 8's pretty fair for them. 7, all I'm going to say is Saquon Barkley. Holy crap, man. He torched the Jaguars. I'm sure everybody out there saw the no look backwards hurdle thing. That was completely insane. Never seen that happen. Honestly, I don't think we're ever going to see it happen again. So that was insane. That's really all I've got to say. Saquon Barkley. He's insane. Number 6, like I said, Steelers didn't play. Not really much to it. Talked about the Commanders earlier. When talking about the Giants, they kind of let the Giants be in this game a little bit too much for my liking, I've got to say. But, I mean, at the end of the day, they won their game. Jaden Daniels made the plays where needed. And this was all without Brian Robinson, too. So, I think that's an important win for the Commanders still. Vikings now. Yeah, they won their game against the Colts. Made Joe Flacco look not good. I will say I thought the Colts defense looked good. Mentioned that earlier. But yeah, at the end of the day, they got the win. They were definitely the better team on the field. Not much to say. I think for these last few teams, we we know the drill. Like, they're winning, they're looking good. I mean, Chiefs are 8-0. Lions now are they 7-1 or 8-1? I think they're 7-1. I think they had their bye already. Like, these are good teams. They all looked really good this week. I don't think there's really a whole lot else to say about that. So I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Let me know what you think of these power rankings in the comment section below. Again, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. And I'll see you next I'll see you next time. Later.